Hi, it's Ben Lightfoot here, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the LEGO Adventures with Mario Starter Course set number 71360. First I'm going to be taking a look at LEGO Mario, then I'll go through the individual course elements, and at the end I'll just give a general summary of how the course system works. Here is the LEGO Mario figure. I kind of wish they did minifigure sets instead of this, but this is still cool for like the first wave of LEGO Mario. I'm sure eventually they will do minifigure stuff. Anyway, let's get into what this Mario can do. So firstly, he can just jump, and as you can see, or I guess here, he makes the jumping sound effects from the actual Mario games, so I think that's kind of cool. Then one other thing is, if you push him over hard enough, he'll make a sound effect. As you can see, he sounds like he's hurt, so that's another cool sort of sound-based feature. It's kind of simple, but still kind of cool, I guess. And then if you shake him, he eventually gets dizzy, which I think is the best sort of sound-based feature, or sort of the best basic feature that he has. Then another thing that he can do is, if you've got an enemy, he can just jump on the enemy and collect a coin. Of course it doesn't work when I'm recording. As I said, you can jump on an enemy and collect a coin. There we go, okay. Not sure why it didn't work the first time, but I guess maybe that's one thing to think about, that it might not work every time, but it works most times that I've tested it, so not that big of an issue, I guess. Okay, so if you have a red Lego piece, it'll detect as lava, and then eventually Mario will make a sound effect where he sounds like he's being burnt. And as you can see on the screen, there's also a image for lava, so I think that's quite a nice detail. I mean, it doesn't really affect the gameplay of the actual system, but it's still cool how when you're on lava, he makes lava-based sound effects, or like, I guess sound effects for him being hurt on lava. And then also, if you get a blue plate, and Mario stands on it, he makes water sound effects. And you can also collect coins by jumping around in the water. So that's quite an easy way to get coins with the LEGO Mario. And one final thing that you can do with LEGO Mario, which I think is kind of amusing, is if you take off his overalls... Okay, I just turned it off by accident. Actually, this is a good point to point out that he does look kind of creepy when he's turned off. Anyway, let's turn him back on. And if you take the overalls off without turning him off, then he says Mamma Mia, which I think is kind of funny. I mean, it's a little bit silly, but still, as an additional little feature, that kind of works. So, I think that's all the basic features of LEGO Mario, so now let's get into the various different course elements. Here's the most basic course element. These are just 3 pieces of scenery. There's a big one, a medium-sized one, and a small one. Mario can jump on them, you can just stand on them. They're pretty basic, but they're kind of cool because they actually look like the scenery from the games. Okay, so the next course element is some lava. This is a very simple area. There's a couple of stones here, and a really nice specialised plate. I really like the rounded shape of that. Essentially how this works is you're meant to jump on the stones, but if you don't, then Mario will get burnt. He doesn't take any damage, so it doesn't really affect the overall outcome of the course, but it's quite a nice area to sort of just mess around with the lava. Okay, so next up is the mystery box. This has a very basic feature where essentially you just jump on the box, and then Mario collects one of, I think, 6 power-ups. As you can see, he's got the mushroom, which means he can take an extra hit, just like in the actual Mario games. Next up is a spinning platform. This doesn't really represent anything from the games specifically, but I guess it just represents the general platforming nature of LEGO Mario and Mario in general. So how this works is you just place Mario on here, then it plays the music from the castle levels from the original Super Mario Bros., which is a really cool reference, and then you can just spin it around. However, if Mario falls off, then he takes a hit point. However, if you manage to get it so that he doesn't fall off, you essentially can collect a whole bunch of coins, which will add to your total score at the end of the level. Here is Bowser Jr. Firstly, I'll talk about the design, then I'll show how it works with LEGO Mario. I really like the build for this Bowser Jr. figure because it really captures the design of Bowser Jr., despite the fact that it uses very few pieces. I especially like the printed piece on the front, because I feel like those really capture his personality. A couple of other things I really like about this figure are the shell piece, because that looks really good and has a really accurate design to the games. And I especially like the use of the cheese slope on the top of the head, because that looks exactly like Bowser Jr.'s hairstyle. I think that's just a really creative use of that part. In this set, Bowser Jr. is used as a mini-boss, which is pretty accurate to how he's used in the actual Mario games. To activate the boss fight, you just knock him over and hit him 4 times. And then when you're done hitting him, Mario will collect a whole bunch of coins, which will add to your overall score in the game. Up is Bowser Jr.'s castle. I quite like this design, despite how simple it is. It has a really good castle design, and the colour scheme of dark red and nougat works very well together, and is also, I think, a reference to the original Super Mario Bros., where it has a similar colour scheme for the castles at the end of the level. This set of builds also has a feature where essentially you go around to the back, Mario can jump on this, and then that breaks the entire tower, knocking Bowser Jr. over, which initiates the boss fight. I think that's quite a fun way of initiating the boss fight, and in general quite a good way of ending the level. Here are the final two course elements. These are by far the most important course elements because they begin and end the course. First I'll start with the pipe. I really like this build because it's got a really good rounded shape to it, which is really accurate to the games and in general just looks very good. That is of course created by a specialised pipe piece, but I'm okay with that because of how good it looks. As you can see, there's a printed tile at the bottom of the pipe which can be scanned on LEGO Mario to start the course. I really like how when the course actually starts, it does the Super Mario Bros. Music, and it also does the pipe sound effect. I really like how it's got those references in there, and in general the sound that it plays is really nice. It's not necessary, but it's just cool to have references to the actual games as you're playing with LEGO Mario. Essentially how the pipe works is once you step on it, it starts the timer, and then you have about 60 seconds to complete the course. This is a really simple build, but it also looks really good, plays some music, and in general it adds a lot to the set. And of course it's important to the set because without the pipe you wouldn't be able to start the actual level. So yeah, this is a really important element of the course, and it just looks really good and adds a lot to it as well. Here is the final element of the course, and the final element of the course is the flagpole. I really like the design of this, from the orange tip at the top and this bit at the bottom. I especially like the flag piece because that looks really accurate to the games, and in general the printing on that is really high quality and it just looks really great. The functionality of the flagpole is very simple. It works exactly how you'd expect it to, and exactly how it works in the games. Essentially, when you're done with the level, you just go to the flagpole, and the level ends. I really like how it plays the ending music from Super Mario Bros. Because that's another cool reference to the actual games. There are a couple of other things that I do quite like about the LEGO Mario figure. Firstly, I quite like how when you turn the LEGO Mario figure on, it says LEGO Mario time. I feel like that adds a lot of personality to the figure. Another thing that adds personality is how he's constantly looking around and just looking at everything. And I think that's just quite a nice little detail. The final thing I want to show you is that when you leave LEGO Mario alone for like a couple of seconds, or sort of more like a minute, if you just leave him there he'll slowly start to fall asleep. I think that's quite a nice detail. And he does also do that in some of the games, so it's kind of a cool reference as well. As you can see, there we go, he's gone to sleep now. I just think that's a nice little detail. And just various things like that are sort of the things I like about this LEGO Mario system, and this figure especially, just the little details that definitely add to it. So essentially how this course building system works is you have these separate different modules, like this area here, this bit over here, and you connect them together using basic LEGO plates. It's very simple, but it works very well for building Mario courses in LEGO. This LEGO Mario course building system isn't exactly what I wanted or what I expected from LEGO Mario. However, it is a lot of fun, it's a very creative idea, so in general I think it's a very good set, a very good system of sets overall. In addition, it's a lot of fun to customise different courses, mess around with the elements, and especially mess around with LEGO Mario. That's probably the most fun I've had with this set. But overall it's a very good set that's been a lot of fun to mess around with. So that'll be it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.